you about to lose your job. You getting ready to be misplaced, because if God be for you, who can be against you? I want you to lift up that hand. I want to believe for you that angels are coming to see about you. I want to believe for you that God has an angel assigned to your life.
Media, this is Lamar. I did a video a couple weeks ago regarding Paula White and Jamal Bryant. Basically, Jamal Bryant was equating the prayers that Paula was doing from the ushering in the spirits from Africa. She equated it to, he equated it to the elections that were happening in some of the countries over in Africa, which were being overtaken, basically. The current president's basically breaking the rules, trying to do extra terms, trying to amend the Constitution, and just doing things they weren't supposed to do, which is almost what Trump has tried to do here. And so a lot of people asked me if I could put the entire video, and I've done that. I'm doing that here, and because I only played a clip of it. So here is the video in its entirety, so you can get better context of what Pastor Jamal Bryant is talking about. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, peace out.
All of the internet almost crashed because a evangelical with limited knowledge in prayer for the present administration began to speak in unknown tongues, and in between those tongues began to compel and command for African angels to come and assist with victory for this administration. She began to do an enchantment for African angels to come over and follow the pattern of the Middle Passage. Take the same route from Africa to the United States to assist in victory for the present administration, the administration that called the same land where these so-called angels are coming from as S-hole nations. Says, I know they disrespected you, but come help him. You have to understand that Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. And what the evangelist clearly was not aware of is that in Africa, there are 54 different countries, 54 different cultures, and 1,270 different languages. So when she called for angels to come from Africa, I kept waiting on what angels was she talking about, from what country, and what agenda. I found out because Paul warned me that our people die from a lack of knowledge, that there were angels available. Because right now in Africa, as I stand to speak to you tonight, there are 10 elections taking place in Africa right now. There are 10 elections taking place in Africa right now, and I want to talk to you very quickly about 3 of them that are happening. First election that I want to bring to your attention is the election that is taking place in Guinea. The election that's taking place in Guinea is hotly contested because the president of Guinea is running for a 3rd term. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because the Constitution in Guinea says you cannot, just like in the United States, run more than twice. The president has adjusted the Constitution so that his first 2 terms don't count. so that he can run a third time. The people of Guinea wrote over to the State Department of the United States asking for assistance for this illegal election, to which the Secretary of State wrote back, "Do the best that you can. You got a good president. You ought to value him." Realizing it was illegal, but understanding that was the agenda of who he worked for. So I'm not sure if that evangelist wanted the angels from Guinea, who were overseeing an illegal election there, to come assist in illegality here. The second election, I'm not sure whether she was talking about, is in the Ivory Coast, or Côte d'Ivoire. It's a francophone, French-speaking country. Previously, it was under the colonial rule of France, was able to, in fact, break free and find its independence. They originally, the president of the Ivory Coast 6 months ago, back in April, said that he was going to step down, to which cheers were in fact elicited from all over the diaspora that there would in fact be a fair transfer of power, because he's already done 2 terms. And then mysteriously this summer, the front runner of the opposing party dies. And the president said this must be a sign from God. And he re-enters the race under the opposition cries of young people in that country. So I'm not sure whether those were the angels she wanted to have come. There's another election I wanted you to be aware of, and that election is in Uganda. And in Uganda, they are under tremendous duress because their president, Museveni, and I've had the opportunity to preach there twice, had the opportunity to meet him and to eat in his home. President Museveni has been president for 34 years. Longest serving president on the continent, and might I dare say in the world. The Constitution in Uganda says you can only be president, and they have an age limit of 75. You already guessed it. President Museveni last month turned 76. So he changed the Constitution in order to fit him. The young man who is running is an activist, liberationist who is pushing for change and economic freedom for the poor. Bobby Wine had his home shot up yesterday. Campaign manager was killed a month ago. His supporters have been inhaling tear gas. He has been left under home arrest with military all around. He has been given the false charge of treason. And this president is saying that he is running. The Organization for African Unity issued out a statement that they are under duress, because before this administration, they could lean on the United States for fair and free elections. But over the last 4 years, they have had a disintegrated diplomatic relationship. Most of their embassies have gone unmanned. Africa has, since the 1990s, been almost completely free of coups or military takeover, because they could trust that America and its allies would, in fact, safeguard a free election. And so I'm not sure whether that evangelist was calling for the angels from Guinea, from Ivory Coast, or Uganda, none of which are angelic. but are satanic to come and intervene. I want you to consider, because Ecclesiastes has reminded us that there is nothing new under the sun. As a consequence, I want you to go with me to Daniel chapter 10. And in Daniel chapter 10, you're going to find some things that really are going to blow your mind. I couldn't even believe it when I read it. When I stumbled upon it, I knew that God wanted me to give it to you. In Daniel chapter 10, here what happens, it's going to blow your mind this time, is that the people of God have been in bondage. And by the time we find Daniel, according to theologians and historians, Daniel is 87 years of age. The people are finally able to take the shackles off their feet so that they could dance. They start going back home to where it is that they have been robbed from. They're going back to their culture, going back to their language, going back to worshiping their God. But for some reason that the text doesn't give us, Daniel is still in the enemy's camp. And if you read Daniel chapter 10, he begins praying out to God, God, do something so my people can get back on their feet, so that they can be restored, so that they can take care of themselves, so that they will be able to do business, that they'll be able to go back to school, so that they'll be able to dream for their children, so that they will not be under the murderous foot of oppression. Do something for my people. He didn't pray for himself. He prayed for his whole community. And the Bible says that he prayed for 21 days and heard nothing. And then we get to verse number 12. An angel shows up. And the angel says to Daniel, we heard you pray 21 days ago. But there was warfare. And the warfare, hear this, was from a principality. The prince of Persia. Here it is. Because demons have specific territories. So the demon assigned Daniel over the place where you live, was trying to block your prayer from being answered. I need you to read Daniel chapter 10, and I need you to hover in at around verse number 5, because in verse number 5, verse number 6, it says, Daniel begins grieving for 21 days. Begins murmuring, has a sense of heaviness for 21 days. He's in depression for 21 days. Y'all ain't gonna like it. Drop down to verse number 12. And then the angel shows up and says, you don't even know why you were depressed. You don't even know why you've been feeling heavy. You've been feeling heavy because there was spiritual warfare on your behalf. And the thing you needed had been blocked from getting to you. But I need you to know, Daniel, that while it is that I was fighting, here's what the angel says to Daniel, your prince showed up for you. Which suggests to us that sometimes God orchestrates an angel just for us. We have biblical evidence and knowledge to know that angels are as numerous as the stars in the sky. There are millions of them. And I declare over your life that there is an angel fighting for your prayer to get answered. All these 3 weeks I'm dealing with the Don't Rush Challenge. The power of patience in the middle of a pandemic. What is amazing is I wonder what's going on through Daniel's mind when he ain't hearing from God. When God seemingly is not responding. When he's got no evidence, no sign. He could have waved the white flag, could have surrendered, could have given up. But God says, while I'm fighting for you, all I need you to do is wait for me. That's a word for somebody tonight. That God says, I know it's been a long time. For some of you, it ain't been 21 days. For some of you, it's been 21 weeks. Others of you, it's been 21 months. God forbid. For few of you, it's been 21 years. God said, I'm fighting for you. Even when you can't see it. Even when you can't sense it. The angel said to Daniel, be at peace. Because there's an angel that has been assigned to who it is that you are. I want you to read Daniel chapter 10. This ain't Sunday morning, it's Tuesday night. I want you to read Daniel chapter 10 and verses 5 and 6. Begin to describe what that angel looks like. That his face was like lightning. That his eyes were like fire. Then I want you to see the detail that his robe was made out of linen. This is important. Why? Because white linen robes were reserved for priests. And yet the angel had on the garments of a priest. There are some theologians that argue that the same angel that came to see Daniel was none other than Jesus himself. That same presence that showed up in the fiery furnace. The same presence that put the lions to sleep. The same presence that kept you COVID free. And so I want to pick up where that misguided evangelist left off. I hear victory. I hear victory. I hear victory. I hear victory. Because you've been in this place long enough. And the going's been kind of tough. But I want you to know the struggle is over for you. Angels are not coming to help you cheat. Angels will not come to help you manipulate. Angels will not come to keep you oppressed. But angels are coming to answer your prayer. They're coming to meet your need. They're coming to exceed your expectation. I'm faithful unto God because I believe there's an angel with your name on it. And it's going to come while you sleep tonight. It's going to come while you rest today. Don't hurry, God. You just got to wait. The angel right now is fighting the spirits and principalities in your city, in your town, on your job, in your bloodline. God says, whatever territorial spirits wanted to block you from making progress, you about to lose your job. You getting ready to be misplaced, because if God be for you, who can be against you? I want you to lift up that hand. I want to believe for you that angels are coming to see about you. I want to believe for you that God has an angel assigned to your life, assigned to your destiny, assigned to your future. God, thank you for fighting for me. Thank you that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers in dark places. God, we're thankful that in the next 21 days, something is getting ready to open up. In the next 21 days, a door is getting ready to open. In the next 21 days, you're going to give us a peace that passes all understanding. And for that, we give you glory. We give you honor. We give you thanksgiving. Daniel made up in his mind that he needed God to do something not just for him, but for the people who were in his territory. I want you to see how it all lines up. We made up in our minds we were going to bless the people who were in this territory, in this jurisdiction, in this area. As a consequence, we want to make sure nobody is evicted in this area. Nobody is foreclosed in this area. Nobody is without lights or power in this area. But that God is going to give them victory. And I feel it coming. I feel it coming for you. Here's what I want you to do. Let's come into agreement that in the next 21 days, whatever warfare you've been in is coming to a screeching halt. Whatever attack you've been under, God is getting ready to fend for you. He's getting ready to block every assailant. He's getting ready to subdue every enemy. Let's come into agreement that in the next 21 days,